What does he need to do to get better? Where's he going?
Well, I mean, I think you watched the film from last week. Unbelievably talented, made some plays with his legs. He's an athlete, right? I think he was a little inconsistent throwing the football, some of the short stuff, a little low, a little high on some things. I attribute that to first game jitters. I attribute that to his first responsibility in every situation, right? He had one start last year. He didn't have to go through 8 third downs. He didn't have to feel what's the first thing you do in the red zone inside the 20. So I think he will get better at that. Accuracy is going to calm down when he gets more comfortable in what he's seen. So he's got the talent to do so. The one thing I'd say, they need to push the ball downfield. They need to find ways to get Treylon Burks the ball downfield. That's one thing I was like, they're gonna dial it up. They're really creative in finding ways to get him touches, but I wanna see him push down the field because that's where he's at his best. That's where he's a physical mismatch to anybody out there on the field. So it'll come along.
If you're Arkansas, I mean, just how do you beat this thing?
So you got to be consistent in the pass game because I think you still got to run the football. This is a team that needs to run the football with KJ, with Smith in the backfield, but you got to be efficient enough that the pass game can be a balance. Now, I would say if I'm watching the film, I throw out all history because if you look back all the way back to Matt Jones, right, was the last quarterback that really was a runner, right? Let's bring that back because if KJ needs to get confident, he needs to get comfortable being a quarterback. Sometimes I started to settle down when I made plays with my feet. It didn't all have to be with my arm, right? So I think using him more targeted in the run game, more specifically designed runs for him, because the ones he did last week were kind of creative, scrambles, right? Things that he made happen. I want to see more designed runs for him, get him involved on the ground.
What impresses you with the Arkansas defense, and what do they have to do tomorrow?
Man, they are so opportunistic. I think Barry Odom is one of the best defensive coordinators in the country. The difficult part about what they do is they play a ton of zone coverage and there's always eyes on the ball. I'll tell you what, as a quarterback, I loved walking up and knowing it was man coverage because my concept can win, right? I can dial something up to create a pick play, to create a mismatch. Against zone, I have to be perfect because everybody's eyes are on me. If I make a mistake, if I linger on a route too long, so that's what makes them so difficult. Now, Texas has a really good running back in Robinson, and not having bumper pull in the first half, I think is going to be a little bit of an issue. So there's going to be an onus of responsibility on the D-line to be really stout because Morgan and Bumper, when they're both out there, they're erasers. You don't have to be perfect up front because they go sideline to sideline, they'll make you right. So that first half is going to be really important that the defensive front stays strong and keeps everything between the tackles as much as possible.
What's Texas's, what's the MO for them tomorrow? It's almost like a debut for here we are, we're going to be in the SEC in a few years. What do you see from their viewpoint?
Well, I think Sark wants to make a splash. I think he was the best offensive coordinator in the country last year. And take talent out of it, Sarkisian is one of the best play callers in the country, just based on what he does and when he does it. So he's got to be very strategic in the red zone. But most importantly for Texas, if I'm watching the film, I go back to third down because Arkansas could not get, they couldn't convert. 3 of 11, I think it was, last week on third down. So if I'm Texas, continue to get exotic, continue to bring pressure. Because if I see a quarterback that's struggling on seeing things, as KJ did a little bit last week, I'm going to dial that up on third down. You can get off the field there. That's going to be a huge help to Sark because I think their offense is going to be ready for this, Texas is.
What have your impressions been just over the past couple of years under Coach Pittman and maybe the vibe change over the past couple of years with this team?
I love Coach Pittman. I'm a big culture guy. And I think a lot of times, that gets, it's a little bit white noise, right? We always talk about culture, and everyone's like, got to change the culture. He literally changed the culture. And when I was at Vanderbilt, James Franklin came in and literally changed the culture. It wasn't sexy. It wasn't something specific he did. You know what he did? He made us work harder. He made us believe in ourselves. And I think Pittman does those two things better than anybody. He loves the players. They feel that. He makes them believe in themselves. That makes you a better football player. He makes you work harder than you ever have. That makes you a better football player. Sometimes it's not the schemes and the concepts, and yes, that is football. Sometimes it's like here and here, and Pittman has that in spades. I think that's a reason that they're turning the corner.
It's that time of the year again, and all eyes are now turning to football as teams are back on the gridiron to start the football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all of the pro and college football action this season. Get all of the updated odds, props, and contests, including the online's biggest $500,000 NFL mega contest, the world's largest 200,000 NFL Survivor contest, open now at BetOnline. Here's what you have to do. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 100% welcome bonus. Take advantage of their opening day super promo. Make a bet on the Thursday, September 9th season opener between the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. And if you lose, your wager's going to be refunded for up to $25 for new customers only when signing up and using the promo code NFL100. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts.